Hi, I'm Steve Johnson, owner of Virtuosity in Boston, Massachusetts.
I'm John Snell, owner of Bob Reeves Brass Mouthpieces in Valencia, California.
Today we want to talk about the anatomy of a mouthpiece, specifically what the different parts of the mouthpiece do for you as a player.
Yeah, so we've got a lovely Bob Reeves mouthpiece here to use. First thing is the rim, right? So the rim is I would argue, is the most important part of a mouthpiece. It's what physically connects you with the instrument. So we want to make sure it's comfortable. There's all kinds of different aspects to the rim: the inner diameter, the outer diameter, the roundness or flatness of the rim. So there's really like infinite variables to the rim. I mean, measurements can get you in the ballpark, but the most important part of the rim is it actually comfortable, like a pair of shoes? Because if you're practicing like you should, you're going to be putting hours and hours and hours a day in, and you want to make sure you're not running a marathon in combat boots, right? You want to make sure that the rim is comfortable to your face. The next part is the cup, right? And cup has a variety of different shapes. The most important thing about the cup is that's basically where you're going to get the sound, the darkness and brightness of the sound, but also the ease of playing. Typically, deeper cups get a darker sound, but are a little bit more difficult or can be more difficult to play, whereas shallower cups can facilitate the upper register, but typically a brighter sound. The next part is what we call the bore or the throat section, and that's the smallest part in the whole mouthpiece and instrument system. And it's typically like a drill size. A lot of musicians, a lot of brass players like to fixate on the bore because you can measure it and it's a number. But in the whole grand scheme of things, it's not as important as the combination of all the parts together. But you can control the response and the intonation of a mouthpiece with that bore section. So then after the bore section, the inside shape of the mouthpiece from the smallest point down to the end, the inside shape is called a backbore. And there's some misnomers about the backbore. A lot of people think it's just a straight taper, but it's actually a more nuanced shape. And the backbore, again, can control the response, kind of dial in the resistance of the mouthpiece to the horn, to the style of music you're playing. Some brightness and darkness aspects into the backbore, also intonation. Those are the internals of the mouthpiece. The last part, and also another important part of the mouthpiece, is the shank. So that's the actual outside diameter. And that's going to control how far the mouthpiece goes into the instrument. On something like a trumpet that has a lead pipe and a gap, this can be really critical. Change in the outer diameter of a few 10,000ths of an inch can affect how the mouthpiece plays with the instrument. Something like trombone or horn, still important, but not as super critical as on a trumpet. So there you have it. We have the rim, the cup, the bore, the backbore, and then the shank.
Great.
Yeah.
So John, what are some things that we want to consider when we're selecting appropriate trumpet rim size?
So with the rim, comfort is the most important thing. And there's a lot of myths out there that a sharper bite is better for articulation or more cushion is better. Really, it comes down to your dental structure, the shape of your lips. We're all different, right? Also, in terms of the shape of the lips, I hear a lot of, I have big fleshy lips, so I need a big mouthpiece, and I have thin lips, so I need I know players with the largest lips in the world playing the smallest and vice versa. So that's, I hate to generalize, basically go and find what works for you in terms of the rim. If you are having endurance issues, like you feel tired after half an hour, 45 minutes, even though you practice a lot, maybe the rim is too sharp and it's cutting into your chops as you're playing. So maybe consider a more cushion rim. If you find that you're slipping a little bit and you don't feel secure, then maybe go for a little more bite. But really, I hate to say it because we have thousands of models, and when we're making things, we're measuring to the 10,000ths of an inch. But when you're trying things, the numbers really don't matter. Go with results. Does it feel comfortable? Then take that rim and put it on a mouthpiece to do the job you need to do.
So one of the most difficult things to do is try and choose the correct mouthpiece for you. John, maybe we can give the listeners here a couple tips on how to choose the right mouthpiece.
Definitely. And number one is have a goal in mind. It seems crazy, but the number of clients we've worked with that come in for a mouthpiece and they don't know what they want. So, really sit down. I would say even write down your thoughts on your phone or on an old-fashioned pen and paper. What do you like about your current equipment, and what do you don't like? Things like, well, I'm having endurance issues, or the sound is too bright, or the sound is too dark, or I'm a classical player and now I'm playing in a big band and I'm having problems blending with the section. Like, put those down so that when you do come in to try mouthpieces, we have a clear outcome. It's not like a shotgun approach. Well, I don't know what I really want, but I'll know when I try it. That never works. It keeps a lot of mouthpiece makers in business, but in the end, it's really about the fulfillment of solving a problem, and we don't know what problem to solve unless you know what the outcome is. So clarity is power. Know at least what your end game is with the equipment, and then talk to someone like you and Virtuosity, or give us a call at Bob Reeves Brass, and chances are we've solved that problem before and help you through the process.
Excellent. Great tips.
So there you have it, the cup, rim. So there you have it. You have the cup.
The yips.
Yips.
Oh, by the way, we have a bloopers section.
Oh, of course. Well, don't just get me started. And hope your rim comes off. There. You can use that in the bloopers. Who made this mouthpiece?
Throw it in the garbage. Recycle it. Sam, look how good I'm doing, not moving my feet.
Yeah, you're being good, Steve.
Thank you.
We're gonna make outlines.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The chalk.
The chalk outline will be later, about 5 o'clock.
Yep.
After 8 more vowel alignments.